Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I'm fine. Kisumu is also fantastic. It has actually rained just right now. And maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from, whether you experience some rains or not. Raila Odinga today held a rally in Nakuru County. And that rally is actually giving Kenya Kwanza sleepless nights. I want us to do a critical analysis of Raila Odinga's rally in Nakuru today, because that rally is also significant, politically speaking, considering the history of Nakuru County as far as Kenyan politics is concerned. Nakuru always shapes the politics of the country. But before we do that, William Ruto today made several appointments to the position of the Chief Administrative Secretary. I've looked at the list. It has around 50 people, which is, I don't know how Kenyans are going to react to that, but I've looked at the names there. Almost 90% are people who actually lost in the last election, which means William Ruto has used these appointments to reward his key allies during the last election and also reward his new allies. For example, I can see Millicent Omanga. I can see Isaac Mwaura has been appointed there. I can see Samuel Tunai, the former governor for Narok, is now the Chief Administrative Secretary for Interior. You know, there are people like Alfred Agoy, Musalia Mudavadi guy. Yeah, several of them. Ketu Waruguru has been appointed. Josh Mangi has been appointed. You go there, several people, Ben Washiali, Nicholas Gomba has been appointed, Kimani Ngunjiri has been appointed, Victor Munyaka has been appointed, Itumbi has been appointed, and then there is someone, Mwangi Kamau. You know, most of these people like Katib Mwashetani, those who lost, yeah, most of these guys have been appointed, Kidero and the rest. And Owota has been appointed there. Several of these guys. Sosion has been appointed. Several other people. Njagwa has been appointed. Bishop Margaret Wanjiru. Several other people. And these appointments, in my view, are actually intended to achieve some political objectives. I will do a comprehensive analysis about that appointment. But please allow me to just 2 minutes only, to give you a brief so that you can understand what I mean. William Ruto has appointed 3 people from the Luo Nation to be the Chief Administrative Secretary. That is Fred Owota, the immediate former senator for Kisumu. He has appointed Evans Kidero, the former governor for Nairobi. And he has also appointed Nicholas Gombo as a Chief Administrative Secretary. Why do you think William Ruto settled on those names? My answer to that is simple, and I know you will agree with me. Those people are going to be his gubernatorial candidates in the next general election. That's why Kidero had to put on UDA kofia. That's why Owota had to put on UDA kofia. And that's why Gombo had to put on UDA kofia. And those 3 individuals are also going to help Ruto in delivering the seats. William Ruto believes that he can win in Kano through Owota. And do you know why Kidero has been appointed? Kidero has been appointed because of one main thing: Homa Bay. Remember, he met Ruto the other day. Yesterday, he went, is it today or yesterday? He went and filed an appeal over his case, which was dismissed by court. Why do you think he filed an appeal? Because they want to continue holding Gladys Wanga to ransom, so that Gladys Wanga will be moving around, but with that case on her head, which is going to be dragged, and therefore she will not be able to really mobilize Homa Bay. But again, if you look at Kidero's appointment, he has been appointed to Ministry of Trade, which means he's going to report to Moses Korea. But that's not the main intention. The main intention is that Kidero will be able to make money. You know, with the importation of sugar, importation of maize, and because he's good at that, that's why he has been appointed. Now, do we agree up to that point? Now, let us now focus on our analysis for today. And let us begin by the choice of the venue. Why do you think Raila Odinga decided to choose Nakuru and I think Kiambu tomorrow as some of his final venues for rallies? Why do you think he chose Nakuru? Or why do you think he chose Kiambu to be his last rallies? For me, the choice of Nakuru specifically is because, number one, the historical place Nakuru plays in our Kenyan politics. Nakuru is what birthed Jubilee. Kenya Kwanza used Nakuru County effectively to rally their supporters. Even after winning, the first place I think they went to was Nakuru. So that's why they chose it. But that's not the most important reason why they chose it. Number two, which is the most important reasons why these guys chose Nakuru, is that they wanted to gauge the mood of Kenya Kwanza bases. You know, Nakuru County is one of the bases for Kenya Kwanza, Nakuru Kiambu. So they say, okay, we've moved around the country, the momentum we've received, now we are coming to Nakuru. So they want to gauge the mood of Nakuru. Are they receptive to our rallies or are they resistant? Because if these rallies will succeed in Nakuru, they'll succeed in Kiambu. Raila should have achieved his objective. And I think that is what he wanted to do in Nakuru. Because, for example, Kisumu, he was in Siaya the other day. Even if Raila Odinga had not gone to Siaya, the truth is Siaya people would still just turn up. So I tend to think that they wanted to gauge the mood of Kenya Kwanza. Because remember, Kenya Kwanza voted for William Ruto. I mean, Kenya Kwanza basis voted for William Ruto. William Ruto gave them promises. And as fate would have it, right now, majority of those who voted for William Ruto are actually feeling the pinch. We've witnessed demonstrations across the mountain. So maybe they wanted to take advantage, the mood, and take advantage of those demonstrations. Remember yesterday, there was this video which was circulating about Thika Town, where some building, people have actually vacated the spaces there because they can no longer afford businesses. So they wanted to gauge the mood. And today I saw those guys actually demonstrating. Number three, why they chose Nakuru as the venue is probably to provoke UDA bases. Why do you think they would provoke UDA bases? I normally tell people, like, sometimes back, William Ruto organized a rally in Kondele, and the main intention of that rally was to provoke Raila Odinga support base to see how they were going to react. And even if they reacted in a way, then you cause your own chaos, then you use it politically to portray an image. The choice here was to provoke UDA bases. Let us go there last, because the country is already now tensed. Let us go there. Wait for them to throw stones at us. Wait for them to stop us. They've failed because UDA supporters did not really kick them out. Remember yesterday, their business community in Nakuru issued a statement warning Raila Odinga against this particular rally. So I tend to think that the choices of Kiambu and Nakuru by Raila Odinga is basically to try and provoke those bases. And lastly, on the choice of the venue, I also tend to think, and you will agree with me, that Raila Odinga is actually building a nationwide momentum. There is no way you can claim to build a nationwide momentum by organizing rallies across the country, but still fail to go to Nakuru and go to Kiambu. They will feel left out. Or someone will say, those maandamano ni za watu wa Nyanza, or those maandamano ni wa ODM, or those maandamano ni wa Azimio. So for me, it's all about that momentum. So that's why they chose this venue. Let us look at the second thing, which is the reception. How was Raila Odinga and his team received in Nakuru? That's also very critical. Because, you know, we are at a critical stage at this moment. Raila Odinga has called for the rally, for the holiday. You will either go for the holiday or not. So how were they received? I tend to think that the reception was so good. It was massive. When Raila Odinga arrived, you saw his convoy moving around. Then when they went there addressing people and rains were pouring, that was a very strong statement. That Raila Odinga, of all the people, can go to Nakuru and address his supporters. And the supporters would brave rain just to listen. Whoa. If you ask me, that was one of the biggest statements of all of them. So for me, the reception was so good, which means either Raila Odinga's message is now resonating with the Kenya Kwanza support base, or Kenya Kwanza support base are already disappointed with their government. And because of that disappointment, they're now trying to align themselves with Raila Amolo Odinga. Are we okay up to that stage? Let us look at the third thing, which is the message. If you paid very close attention to the messages which were coming out of that rally, then you'll understand the tone. Raila Odinga, for example, was very clear that even if he were to be eliminated, his spirit will still come up. Why do you think Raila Odinga was invoking the issue of elimination? Because Rigathi Gachagua stated the other day that this time is going to be the last time for Raila Odinga. They're going to deal with him once and for all. And the majority of Raila Odinga supporters are interpreting it, maybe politically, to mean that Rigathi Gachagua is actually promising to eliminate Raila Odinga. So the tone is very clear. And Raila Odinga also invoked the issue of 82 coup. Because you know that issue actually went through a court process. And the court ruled that Raila Odinga did not participate, or there were no evidence linking him. So why do you think he would invoke the issue of 1982 coup? And then there were also direct attacks on William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza government, right in their backyard. You know, sometimes, like for example, when Rigathi was in Kisumu, they were in Homa Bay and in Siaya, they used to just call Baba Raila Baba. You know, sisi ni watu wa Baba. You know, kunyenyekea. Then the next day they went to Bomet and they started calling Raila wale yule mganga. You see, so the thing is the tone of the messages which were coming out of that meeting in Nakuru simply confirms that Raila Odinga is not ready for anything. Maybe he wanted to provoke supporters. He wanted to just be strong. And lastly, let us look at the the leaders who were present here. I noticed that some Azimio leaders who are constantly present in these rallies avoided Nakuru. Why do you think they avoided Nakuru? I don't know. But there was Raila Odinga, Eugene Wamalwa, who has been a constant figure around Raila Odinga. There is Wajakoya. And by the way, I promised to do a video about the emergence of Wajakoya around Raila Odinga. Still, time has not been available enough because it's going to be a very interesting video. There was Kioni and several others. So for me, I look at Azimio as an outfit which is now preparing for 2027. But the role of Wamalwa, the role of Wajakoya, and Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka's schemes, for me, it's what is really interesting to me. I'll take a keen interest on the three gentlemen. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.